Good morning, Year 5. Hope you guys are all well. We're going to be doing some more work on decimals this week, and we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting decimals, building on some of the learning that we did last week, and using some written methods, making sure we're really confident with adding and subtracting decimals. Okay, so I'm going to try and cram in quite a bit into this one video, and that should hopefully guide you throughout the course of the week. But please don't forget, if there's anything you're unsure of, please email your class teacher, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible, and we'll try and give you some help if you need it. All right, so I'm just going to explain this first example that we've got here. So we're looking at doing 0.64 plus 0.59, and the easiest way to do that is to find your complements to 1. All right, so if you do 0.64 plus 0.36, all right, that will give you 1. Okay, what's happening over here? All right, you're probably thinking, where's this 0.23 come from? Well, that's what we have to add on to our 1, and how we calculate that is by taking 0.59 and then subtracting 0.36. So you might not need to use a written method here, but I'm just going to do it just to illustrate it. If you do need to use it, so 9 take away 6 is 3, and 5 take away 3 is 2. Don't forget your decimal point. Whoops. There you go, 0.23. Excuse me. So then we drop down here to the bottom part of the calculation, and if you do 1 plus 0.23, your answer is 1.23. You shouldn't really need to use a written method to do that. You're simply adding your 2/10 and your 300ths to 1, so that should be fairly easy for you to do. All right, so we're going to go on to the next slide now, and we're going to have a little go at another example, and then you can have a go at the other 3 at your leisure. All right, so here we go. Okay, so let's take a look at question A. Well, the first thing we need to look at is our complement to 1. All right, so 0.76 plus something equals 1. So we can count up from 0.76 to 1, and our answer is 0.24. Okay, so now we've kind of taken care of this number. Now we need to do our what's left over. We found 1, so now we're going to do 0.57. And we're going to take away 0.24 from here. Okay, so we do 7, take away 4, which equals 3. 5, take away 2, which also equals 3. Don't forget your decimal point. All right, so that's taken care of both sides of our equation there. So now all we need to do is put our 1, when we found the complement to 1 here, and add 0.33 to that, and that's fairly straightforward. 1.33. So 0.76 plus 0.57 equals 1.33. Okay, right, so have a go at B, C and D, and try and use that method there that I've just explained to you. Okay, so moving on, we're going to have a look at adding numbers that are less than 1, but I have 2 different decimal places. So we can see here with the blue question, you've got a number to 2 decimal places, and you're adding a number with only 1 decimal place. So I'm not going to do this question, but I'm just going to show you how to set it out. Okay. The thing that sometimes confuses people is that there's nothing in our hundredths column, okay, on the bottom number. If you want to, you can just think of, well, if there aren't any hundredths there, you can just put 0, okay, to show that. And then it just becomes a little bit more easy for you guys to answer, because 7 plus nothing is really straightforward, okay? And then you just approach it in exactly the same way as you would normally a column addition. All right, the thing I will remind you all to do is to make sure you get your decimal point in there, okay? All right, you might think that's really obvious, but you'll be amazed how many times I've seen people forget to do that, all right? Okay. This is fairly straightforward. Some of the questions you're going to be looking at here, you've got You've got a place value chart to help you as well, all right? But I don't think you're going to need that today, all right? Let's just get straight into this question. You've got 5 hundredths plus 2 hundredths. Think of it in isolation, all right? Just think about 5 add 2, all right? And that equals 7. And then you've got 6 add 2, which equals 8. So that's taking care of your tenths. Decimal point's already in there, but I'm going to put it in anyway. And then 2 plus 3, which equals 5. All right, so there we go. That's really simple. It gets a little bit more, slightly more complicated. I think you're going to be absolutely fine with this as well. But this is where you've got, what you can see here, if we look in our tenths column, we are going to create a number, which is where we're going to need to carry. So I'll show you how to do that really quickly. You've got 3 and 5. All right, so we're going to start over here, right the way over on with our smallest numbers, 3 and 5, which equals 8. And then 8 and 4 equals 12, so 2. Carry the 1, we cross over into the ones column there, all right, and then we do 5 plus 1, which equals 6. It's another one, which equals 7, and then 6 plus 3, which equals 9, all right? So I reckon you're going to be fine with those. I think you'll be absolutely fine, but that just shows you how to do it if you're not sure. Okay, so moving on to some of the subtraction questions that we'll be looking at this week. We've got 5 take away 3, which equals 2. 7 take away 5 equals 2. 3 take away 2 equals 1. Okay, always remember, start over here, smallest number. And that's fairly easy. There's no exchanging going on with these questions here. So when you do look at these questions, it's just really about making sure that you do take your time, you are careful, and that you check your answers. Okay. This question here is going to take a little bit of more thought. Just have a little look at that question and see, right, why is this question harder than the previous question that we just looked at? All right, so pause the video and have a look at it and think about that question. Okay, well, hopefully you spotted the fact that we're trying to do 1 take away 5, all right? And if we're doing that, then obviously that we can't do it. So what we need to do is exchange. Okay, so we're going to go into our tenths column, and we are going to exchange one of those tenths, and then we change this to 1. Okay, so we can now do 11 take away 5. Okay, and if we do that, our answer is 6. And if we do 1 take away 4, well, we can't do that either, can we? So again, we need to cross over the decimal point, go into the ones column, and say, excuse me, can I exchange, please? And the ones column says, absolutely, of course you can. All right, there we go. All right, so now it's starting to look like a calculation that we can do a lot easier. All right, so if we do 11 take away 4, that equals 7, and then 2 take away 1, that equals 1. Okay. Okay, and the last question we're going to look at today is similar to one of the questions you were looking at earlier on, actually, but we'll go through it anyway. So here we've got numbers greater than 1 that we're adding together, and they're with different decimal places. So we just apply the same rules, really. Here we've got 2.34, no thousandths, okay? So just put a 0 in there, okay? And under here we've got 3.462, and that's the 3 decimal places, and we have 2 thousandths in that with that number. So 0 plus 2 equals 2. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Okay. 3 plus 4 is 7, and 1 is 8, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so hopefully that video has been really, really useful for you, and has explained lots of the methods that you're going to need to use this week. I've linked most of the answers with the questions that you're going to be doing today, so they'll be there. If they're not, and they're from the Do It, Twist It, Solve It questions, then have a look on the White Rose document from last week. That's going to stay there, and I'm following that sequence of lessons as well. So if you find in that document complements to 1, and then just keep going through, you'll be able to find the questions that we've been having a look at today. As of next week, and I believe there will be some this week as well, we're going to be adding some more discussion problems onto the website as well. So there'll be just a little bit extra for those of you that want to do that extra work, deepen your understanding. So have a look at those there. But I just want to stress that they're not compulsory. Okay, they will stay there on the website. We're not going to take them down, so you can access those whenever you want. All right. So hopefully they'll come in useful for those of you that really want to kind of push on. All right, but please don't feel under any pressure to do those. All right, we hope you all have a lovely week, and you'll hear from me next week. Okay, bye.